Hey, what's up guys? It's Cypher from cypherpk.com, and today I am bringing you a Fortnite Battle Royale tutorial going over how to attack an enemy base. This is the first tutorial I make for Fortnite Battle Royale, but you can expect a lot more similar styled videos covering different aspects of Battle Royale and how to get better and improve your gameplay. Today, like I said, we're going over two different ways you can attack an enemy base, and I'm going to be showing you guys video footage from my gameplay and analyzing it, playing it in slow motion, and telling you step by step my thought process behind my decisions and how I attacked an enemy base. When someone builds a base in Fortnite, it can be pretty intimidating, and there's different ways you can go about it. So we're going to go over these two ways, and these are just two of my ways that I attack enemy bases. There's also more ways that we'll go over in future videos, but I feel like I don't want to cover too many things. I just want to cover a couple things and go into specific details. So this first video we're going to be watching, this is being played in half speed. Someone built what seems like a 2x2 base that has a bit of a mushroom top that extends even further. He's also built it on top of a house, meaning that even with explosives, it would take a lot of shots before you could take the space down. And also, we don't have explosives currently, and you're not always going to have explosives. So right in the beginning, we're using this tree as line of sight. We're also using the hill to try to, make sure the opponent doesn't see us. As you're approaching a base, you don't want to come in right in the open. And you also don't want to necessarily build materials unless you're really close, because if you start building materials, you automatically kind of give up your location. Right here, he starts shooting at us, and he breaks the tree, and he shoots a rocket. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to put some walls up, and rockets tend to scare people a lot. A lot of people panic when a rocket's coming their way, but just putting up a wood wall in front of you and making sure that there's no potential splash entries from the sides and from the top and from the bottom, you're pretty much safe from rocket shots. It will destroy the wood wall, and all you have to do at that point is just put it back up. So right now, he's hitting us with some rocket shots. We take a snipe back at him. We hit him. And now we know he's a little bit weak, so we can play a little bit more aggressively. He ends up destroying the little mini fort we had going on. We're moving forward, but we're not trying to get too much height. Because he has a rocket, he could very easily shoot our ramps down, and we don't want to take any fall damage here. So we're playing it slow. We're moving in, and after every rocket, we're rebuilding our fort and moving forward, looking to take some shots back at him. We already know we sniped him once, so he's down at least 105 health, which means he has like 95 health remaining. Now he could have some mini shields, he could have a slurp. Now over here we play a little bit ballsy, but as soon as we see that he shot the rocket, we immediately stopped and backed up a little bit, because if we had kept going, we would have fell down and taken fall damage. So you have to kind of balance your aggression and your defense. So far, we've taken no damage. He's shot multiple rockets, and we've taken no fall damage. But we weren't able to successfully build a ramp, and when you're building your ramps, you want to double up on your ramps. But even if you double up, if he shoots a rocket, he could pretty much take it down in one shot. We haven't been able to successfully get the height advantage and push into his base because of the rocket launcher that he had. Now, if he didn't have a rocket launcher, we could have potentially jumped into his base by building a ramp straight up, but that wasn't the case in this fight. So let's see where we go from here. Now we're right up next to his base, and because he's built such a big base, we can actually use his own base as cover from him. So what we do in this situation, he shoots the rocket. We make sure to quickly put walls behind us. That was very close. It could have very easily hit me. But here's the most important part. You want to use floors to cover the top of you. So what you can do is you can put one wall up, put a floor, and then at that point you can connect those floors together so that you keep the top of your head covered and concealed so he can't shoot down at you. And once you get closer, the closer you get to his base, the easier it is for you to protect yourself, because not only is it going to be harder for him to look down and shoot at you, if he's still shooting explosions, he'll be hitting his own base. So at this point, we use the floors. We get really, really close. There's already a ramp here pre-built that he probably used to get back into his base at one point. We use that to our advantage, and we start climbing. Put some more floors, At this point, I don't have to worry about what's going on top of me because we're using his own base as cover. We get ourselves here in this little corner, and now we box ourselves up. Now, this situation actually opens up a lot of different things. A lot of questions, actually, that some people ask. You know, I get this question a lot. If you're inside a building and somebody's on top of you, you know, how do you go about getting out of the building when they know you're in there and they have that height advantage over you? Technically, this is the same thing. We're inside his fort, but he is on top of us. He's on the outside of this wall over here. And not only that, but he knows where we are, and he has a rocket launcher. So the one way that I approach this is through building. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. But you can build very, very quickly in this game. And if you have enough health, you can take that risk. What I like to do if I'm inside a building or underneath a fort and somebody's on top of me, and I know they're on top of me, they know where I am, is I will break the ceiling that's on top of me, open up that ceiling, open up that pathway, and immediately begin building a ramp, and then a wall, and then a ramp and a wall. You want to go up. The goal is to take that height advantage. So the second part of this base attack is to basically make my own base inside his base. To make my own base inside his base. That way I can take the height advantage and turn the odds against him. Now, in this situation, we actually end up getting a little lucky. But this just goes to show that even if your opponent has a rocket launcher, it can work in your favor. So we start breaking the little corner wall he has built over here. And keep in mind, we're keeping a close eye on the health of this wall. We don't want to like break it and then like have a slow reaction to building. Right here, I assume this was the last swing, and I stopped and I pulled out my ramp, and then I swung one more, knowing it would break, and I immediately pulled out the ramp and started building walls. Instantly, ramp, walls, and if what happens here hadn't happened, I would have continued building and then looked down and shot at him. But what actually ended up happening is he shot into us because he knew we were coming out of there, but because we built the wall so quickly, he actually killed himself with his own rocket launcher. And now this base is ours, and he's dead. And let's assume that he didn't die in that situation. We would have built up a little ramp, looked over the edge, and been able to get some free shots at him before he realized what's happening. So this was one way to attack a base. This shows different angles that we approached. This shows a specific situation where you're underneath them, you're trying to go up. How do you go about doing that? And it's like a perfect example of this situation. So this is just one way to attack a base. And I have more examples of me actually doing this, jumping into people's bases and then building on their base. That's something you need to realize, is that their base is their base, but that doesn't stop you from getting inside and expanding it, taking that high ground and forcing them to react. So that's something that a lot of people don't do, but should start doing. All right, guys, we're back. This is base number 2 that we are attacking. As you can see, we're running towards the base. There's not too much cover, but I'm keeping an eye on top to see if he knows that I'm coming towards him. He's in the process of building right now, so I was able to sneak up to his base without him actually seeing me approach. At this point, he will be able to hear my footsteps, so I put a quick wall to cover the top of me, and then I break into his base. This is another strategy that you can use to infiltrate people's bases. Break a bottom or middle part of their base and then enter their base. And from this point, there's a lot of things you could do. You could break up to get to them, or if they're high enough, you could go for the takedown on their base. You can destroy the bottom part of their base in order to completely deconstruct their entire base, and they'll fall down and take fall damage, potentially dying. And if they don't die, you can finish them off. Now you'll notice in this clip, I'm taking swings, but I'm also stopping in between, because a lot of times if somebody tries doing this to me, what I end up doing is as soon as I hear them swinging, I'll drop down really quickly and I'll shotgun them in the face while they're swinging at my base. Kill them and then rebuild and go back up top. So over here, you got to play it very carefully. You want to swing, you're kind of baiting them, right? So there's two options. Either they stay up there and you end up completely destroying their base from the bottom, or they jump down, giving up their height advantage, putting you at an even playing field. But you don't want them to jump down while you're still swinging at their base. So you got to make sure you're listening carefully and react to the situation. Right here, I'm breaking his base, but I'm not mindlessly doing it. A lot of people mindlessly try to just break the bottom part without thinking that potentially that person up there can come down and shoot at them. So I'm playing it slow. I'm hacking away. There's only a few more walls to break. I also want to be careful that no other enemies from outside notice what I'm doing and start shooting at me. And if they do, just rebuild the base. Like, even though you know your goal is to destroy his base, if somebody from outside shoots at you, just cover yourself up and let the person up top, take care of them, or wait till they notice each other and start shooting at each other, then make your move. At this point, this guy is just kind of staying up there, and he allowed me to completely deconstruct his base. His entire base broke. He built very high up. He's fallen down, and he's dead. Another tip I want to talk about here is you do not want to build too high for no reason. Building high is good, but you also got to realize that if your base breaks while you're very high up, over 3 stories you'll take fall damage, and at some point it'll just be a guaranteed death. This guy built extremely high for the situation he was in. You want to build high enough to make sure that nobody has height advantage over you. They can't shoot into your base, but you don't want to build too high to the point where it's a risk. And if you do have to build high under certain circumstances, you will have to. Make sure you are ready to either jump out of your base or drop down and reconstruct your base when needed. So this was the second example. It was a bit shorter, but it's a very simple strategy that can work even against good players if you know what you're doing. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys want to see more Fortnite, VOD reviews, other topics to cover, other tutorials, I will be making more, but I want to know what exactly you guys are, looking for as far as tutorials are concerned. I had these videos ready, so I decided to commentate over them and give you guys this quick tutorial. But if you guys have anything in particular that you would like to recommend, that you would like me to go over, please go ahead and comment it down below. I've been playing this game quite a bit for the past couple months. We have really, really good, stats in this game. We've been working hard to try to improve ourselves every single day. And every single day I learn something. Regardless, no matter how good you get, you still have to learn and improve yourself every single day. And hopefully I can help you guys as well with these videos. So if you enjoyed, slap a like, subscribe for more Fortnite content. My name is Cypher, and I'll see you guys next time.